Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me as we take a look at your weekend forecast from March 31st through April 2nd. And we are going to end March with one more storm here. A little bit of mixed precipitation, although nothing that's going to accumulate after what's been obviously, especially the first half of March was very snowy. And the second half here has still been, slightly, it's been not quite as stormy. But definitely had a decent amount of stormy weather still. Our system tonight into tomorrow will mostly be in the way of rain, especially after this afternoon. But let's take a look at what's going on here across the country. First of all, here we go. We've got our system that's been developing, and this is a wide-ranging storm. Definitely has a lot of energy with it. We're actually going to develop some extremely dangerous, severe weather conditions to the west here. A pretty thin line, but definitely going to have a big chance for a lot of straight line winds, maybe some tornadoes as well with this system as it comes across. The thunderstorms and activity from last night, this is going to die out some, but we're going to see in radar here in a second that we are starting to already move some precipitation in our direction. One of the things that's going to save us from getting too much in the way of snow is that the timing is precipitation gets in here this afternoon after we've had some sun this morning. If we started precipitating right now, we'd definitely be snow. We're chilly aloft, and we also have plenty of cold air locked in at the surface momentarily, but a little bit of sun's going to warm it up, and we're not that chilly aloft, and we're warming up quickly aloft as warm air streams in from the south. And what's going to happen here is after we initially start, maybe with some mixed precipitation, especially for the hills, but I don't even think in the hills the roads will get slippery. I think it's basically confined just to they're basically confined just to the grassy areas. And then we change over to rain by this evening, and then temperatures warm up consistently. And by tomorrow, we're real warm and we're melting snow. We're not worried about accumulating snow or anything like that. If we look at the precipitation, here's some of the overrunning warm precipitation that's headed in our direction. Again, this will probably enhance a bit as the storm heads in our direction today. And that's what gives us the chance for those snow, rain, and snow showers. As you can see here, a lot of moisture associated with the system. Some of this is convective leftover from last night that will slowly die as it gets into an area that's a little less conducive to convective activity. Today, we'll redevelop an additional system, and the system itself is still way out to our west. We're going to go through the progression of how it's going to head in our direction. But you can see we do have some cold air. This is why if this was earlier in the winter, we would have started off with at least more snow out of this. And then maybe a situation with some sleet afterwards. But it's a lot harder to lock in cold air this time of year, especially during the day, because that sun angle is just so high. And we're just getting, you can really think of it, we're like a mid-September in terms of our sun angle right now, or mid to late September. So you've got some pretty good precipitation. Let's start off with this afternoon. All right, here's our main system still way out to our west. We've got this big surge of the warmer air. Here's the convective leftovers, and then the warm front is moving precipitation in our direction. There is some snow to our north in Canada where the cold air is really locked in. There's definitely going to be some snow, and there they'll get some accumulating snow, but again, that's way far north of us. Out west, here's that line of precipitation of thunderstorms just starting to get going this afternoon. As we head into the overnight or evening, I should say, we're kind of going to split the system into two pieces. There is a little bit of drizzle kind of happening between the two, but this initial surge of moisture is going to give us a little bit of that mixed precipitation. By the evening, we're already changed to rain for most of us here, and even lower elevations are just going to see rain out of this. It's really just higher elevations, probably above 1,500 feet realistically, where you even see some rain, some snow mixed in. Maybe snow might mix in down to 1,000 feet, but in general, everything above 1,000 feet is definitely, or below 1,000 feet is probably just rain, and even above that, it's a sort of a mix of rain and snow. It doesn't last that long. It's not that heavy, and it doesn't accumulate on the road, so it's pretty insignificant. But what happens with this is kind of surging the warm air north Friday evening. So then as we head to Friday overnight, the warm front is clearing through. I didn't even draw the rain on here, but at this point we will basically go spotty. I was going to say shoddy, but it's spotty that we're going to go with the rain Friday overnight. And so just really sprinkles before another slug of consistent moisture kind of associated with the leftover of this convection makes its way in here for tomorrow. And then during the day tomorrow, we have a chance of some pretty steady rain. And so if we keep heading forward in time, Saturday morning, here's where we're in the warm sector, but the thunderstorms that happened overnight last night will be kind of left over as rain showers tomorrow. Off and on, they could be moderate to heavy sometimes throughout the day. Nothing too crazy, but definitely we could be looking at close to an inch of rain out of this in total. Temperatures will surge to near 60 tomorrow. The rivers will come up. I'm not worried about river flooding. I don't think it's going to be quite enough rain, even with everything going on. Also, the snowpack will absorb some of this water, but certainly, if we are kind of the stage is set for the potential to have to worry about that, but this system is not going to do it, so that's good. Saturday midday, finally, we kind of get the system to head to our north. We're now kind of probably gets showery again midday, and then we've got one more line that might come through with the front actually Saturday evening. It's just like I said, sort of a long duration event, and this could be relatively. It looks like this will be stronger to our west. The timing will be better. Because we could see a peak of sun in the afternoon. If we see sun in the afternoon, mid 60s is not impossible for the lower elevations. It's going to be really warm. It's going to feel kind of humid tomorrow afternoon. But as things swing through, a rumble of thunder is not impossible. And a gusty wind with these. It looks like right now most of the models want to keep that west of us. Upstate New York probably is going to need a severe thunderstorm watch, and there will probably be some severe thunderstorms in upstate New York tomorrow, which is just hard to believe. That's a little early for that for us here, not across the south where most of this has been happening. But for us, this is a little early, but you never know. But I think we could still have a leftover rumble of thunder or two and a bit of a gusty wind, but probably nothing that's going to cause too much in the ways of problems. It will get very breezy behind this, breezy enough that I think there is definitely a possibility. I would imagine the National Weather Service will probably post a wind advisory for us, and a couple of power outages, not widespread by any stretch of the imagination, but just a couple of power outages caused by tree limbs or trees coming down is definitely possible anytime Saturday overnight into early Sunday morning. So that's sort of how things look. I wouldn't be too worried about that, and you probably won't lose power for more than a couple hours, but just to kind of give you an idea that is possible. That's the kind of winds we're talking about as we head into the weekend for the forecast here. So here's our day today. Wintry mix this afternoon. Peaks of sun this morning, though. Temperatures will warm pretty rapidly. I was down in the upper teens this morning at my house, but we'll pretty quickly warm up into the low to mid 40s. After a chilly day yesterday, it'll feel kind of warm, but then when the precipitation gets in here, we're quite dry at the moment. That's why we get the chance for the slight mix at elevation. And 44 is that's more of a temperature for the lower elevations. Overnight temperatures pretty much hold steady, maybe drop a couple degrees. Sprinkles overnight, not consistent rain. Wouldn't be too worried about that overnight. Temperatures about 40. Tomorrow, 60 degrees and some rain, particularly I think a slug of rain in the morning, steady rain in the morning, and then showers throughout the day are possible, and then a line of stronger rain showers with maybe a rumble of thunder in the evening. So best time to get out there and do something. There will be some times during the afternoon where it'll probably dry for an hour or two. So if you're trying to get out there and go for a walk or something like that, get out there and not get wet. Just keep an eye on radar. You probably get a shot at that in the afternoon, which will be kind of nice because the temperatures will be in the 60s. It isn't impossible we see a peak of sun. If you get a half an hour, 45 minutes of sun in a place like Bennington, 65, definitely not out of the realm of possibility. It's going to be, though, the temperatures aloft are very, very warm. We crash temperatures behind that second front as it moves through with the potential for the stronger storms. Windy temperatures in the mid 20s by Sunday morning. Temperatures will drop all night long, drop pretty significantly. And again, this wind it'll howl on Saturday night. Not enough to be widespread damaging, but definitely a power outage or two is possible. Something to just keep an eye on. And you're going to hear it if you're in the house. You're going to hear the house kind of moving and things like that with the wind. Sunday, wind dies down. We're still breezy on Sunday, but still northerly and northwesterly wind. It keeps us chilly. It's going to be a lot like yesterday was, with temperatures maybe even a degree or colder than it was yesterday in the low 30s. And it's going to feel a bit wintry still, especially for April 2nd. And then overnight, we do drop down. It's going to get chilly before we will warm up pretty significantly on Monday. But temperatures with the clear skies and the dying winds and all that will drop back down into the teens for most of us on Sunday night into Monday. Let me take a quick look at your weekend highlights. Long duration storm this afternoon through Saturday. Storm starts as some rain, snow mix with no real accumulation. Any snow changes to rain. By evening, it becomes spotty overnight. Saturday evening could feature a line of thunderstorms to end the rainfall. Again, I think just a couple of claps of thunder, but definitely something to keep an eye on. And Saturday morning, will feature the steady rain probably. I'm looking at probably about an inch of rain overall. Sunday is breezy with below average temperatures. So that's what's happening for your weekend forecast. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back on Monday with a look at your work week forecast also. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel before, I'd really encourage you to do that. It helps make sure you don't miss any forecasts. And thank you, everybody, for kind of joining me throughout the winter. I know we're sort of transitioning towards spring, and the weather gets a little less exciting around here, and people don't check in quite as often. So sometimes, just having that bell hit so that you can see, hey, it looks like something interesting is going on weather-wise. Don't forget about the weather guy. And want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. They really help support what happens here, make sure that things happen throughout the year. I really appreciate them. And they will, if you're interested in becoming a patron, you can check the link in the description below, and it talks about what that means. Okay, I'll be back Monday with a look at your weekend, or your work week, I should say, forecast.